Hey gang, my name is John Pujol. I'm a water quality engineer with TapScore, and I am here today to walk you through a very simple laboratory report of lead and copper in a drinking water sample. I want to show you what a laboratory report looks like with TapScore and hopefully answer any questions you have about maybe what you're expecting when you buy a water quality test for your home. Obviously, you can order tests for all kinds of contaminants, but today we're focusing very narrowly just on lead and copper. These two metals are always high conversation points in drinking water world because lead is a potent neurotoxin, and the country is currently in a major effort to identify and dig up and fix all the lead service lines that bring water to homes around the country. And if you live in a home that's older than 1986, or if you have fancy French faucets and fixtures, or really anything that touches the water that is an older metal in particular, then there's a chance that it contains lead, and we really do not want to have any lead in our drinking water. So if you do a test for lead with TapScore with any lab, this is what you should expect. A lab report back, a certificate of analysis, sometimes called a COA. You'll have some kind of an identifier on the COA. In this case, it's a 3DZJY8. That's just how we all keep track of which report is which. Every lab report will have what's called a chain of custody or sample information. You can see who collected the sample, when they collected the sample, the address of the sample, maybe a photograph to say, where was the sample collected from? How was the sample collected? Was it first thing in the morning? Was it in the middle of the day? Was there a filter associated with the tap that the water sample was collected from? This information is important when later you get your results back, when you get this report back, and you want to make sense of what you found. TapScore report will list the contaminants that were tested with a particular kit. In this case, lead and copper are shown here as two different rows. Each one of them is a metal. We call these parameters or contaminants. We say parameter because not everything is a contaminant. Not everything is necessarily toxic or bad for you. So in this case, both are. You see the result. Concentration, oftentimes in chemistry. So that means we do a lot of unit conversions here, and I hover my mouse over and you can see we're converting the units. This is lead at 0.0052 parts per million, or the same as 5.2 parts per billion. It's about the same as 5.2 micrograms per liter. According to the evaluation bar, this is a moderate amount of lead. 0 is the health goal. Now, 0 is almost impossible to achieve. 0 is the health goal, and at 5 parts per billion, you are higher than desirable. It's not terrible, but if you have children in the home, you might want to buy some kind of a filter or perhaps run your water in the morning to reduce the exposure to lead in drinking water. You'll see information on any lab report about the method, the detection level of the instrumentation in the lab, and the reporting level of the laboratory. In this case, EPA 200.8 is the most common method used for metals analysis in drinking water, and lead included. The detection level was exceedingly low. I'm not going to try here, but this means 0.000006 parts per million is the lower detection level. The instrument cannot see lower than that. There's always a detection level with every instrument. There's always some teeny weeny tiny little concentration you cannot see below, because there are just limits to engineering and science. And fortunately, these limits are so low, you can more or less assume these values are close to 0. Just like an MDL, a minimum detection level, you have a minimum reporting level, which means, hey, the laboratory is confident enough to report back any values above, in this case, 0.0004 parts per million. So they're not able to quantify the result if it's lower than that. It's too small to put a number on, but they might be able to say, hey, there is some tiny amount of lead in the water, but we don't know exactly how much. In this case, with 0.0052 or 5.2 parts per billion, 5.2 micrograms per liter, all the same thing, we are far above these minimum thresholds, these minimum detection levels. And so we see a quantified result. You'll see the date of the analysis, of course, and there's all sorts of details you can read about every lab test, quality control data, results from the laboratory, about the kind of general batch that day to ensure that the machinery, the instrumentation was accurate. And what else I want to point out here, with tap score results, you can kind of click the lab results. You can scroll down. You can read more about the contaminants, health-related risks from the contaminants, plumbing-related matters associated with contaminants, treatment technologies that are specifically going to reduce concentrations of each contaminant found. There's tons of different products out there. Knowing which one to buy can be a pain because it's difficult to figure that out sometimes, and the TAP score report makes that easy to see. So for lead, there are various carbon technologies, ion exchange technologies, reverse osmosis technologies that'll work for reduction of lead. Now, there are many places to click on and investigate and understand your results. And TAPSCORE gives you lots of resources to make sense of your results. But I wanted to give you a really high-level picture of what a TAPSCORE report looks like when you test for lead and copper. If you have any questions at all, just leave them in the comments section below or go to mytapscore.com and ask our team there. We have a live chat and phone and email support group. Happy to answer all of your questions about drinking water, water testing, and beyond. Thank you very much.